Have you ever thought that silence could be stronger than shouting? What if your greatest power is the one you don't use? This video is about a simple idea that can change your life, not reacting. It may sound small, but it can protect your peace, your relationships, and your mind. As you listen, you'll improve your English naturally, and you'll learn how to pause, think, and respond instead of reacting. Let's begin the story. Have you ever said something you didn't mean just because you were angry? Have you ever reacted too quickly, then wished you had stayed silent? This is something all humans do. Our brain is built to react fast when we feel strong emotions. This reaction helped people survive long ago. If you saw danger, you had to move without thinking. But today, most danger isn't physical. It's emotional, social, or internal. Still, our brain reacts the same way. It prepares to fight, run, or freeze, even if it's just a comment or disagreement. Let's say someone says something rude to you. Before you even think, your body changes. Your heart beats faster. Your muscles tense. Your face feels warm. That's your nervous system getting ready for a fight. Your brain is shouting, "Protect yourself." This is called the fight or flight response. It's automatic, you don't choose it. In that moment, you feel the need to speak back fast, to defend yourself, to win the argument. But this fast reaction isn't always helpful because it comes from emotion, not reflection. You don't think clearly when you're in survival mode. You speak fast, move fast, and judge fast, and sometimes you hurt others or yourself. There's a man named Joseph. One day, his coworker made a joke that embarrassed him. Without thinking, Joseph raised his voice. He said something personal and sharp. The room went quiet. His coworker looked shocked, and Joseph immediately felt regret. He didn't mean to go that far, but the reaction had already left his mouth. Later he thought, "Why did I say that?" The answer is simple. His brain reacted and he didn't pause. This happens to all of us. Our brain sees small problems as big threats because the brain doesn't care about being kind. It cares about being safe. And in those first seconds, safety means control, winning, being right. But psychology shows us something important. That first reaction is rarely your best response. It's fast, but it's not wise. It's emotional, but not clear. To live a calmer life, we must understand this about ourselves. Our reactions aren't bad, they're just automatic. The power comes when we notice the reaction without obeying it. When we feel it but don't let it lead. The more we understand why we react so fast, the more we can begin to slow down. And the first step is to see what's happening in our own mind. It feels good to react in the moment. You say what's on your mind. You release your anger. You show your power. But often that reaction comes with a hidden cost. You don't see the damage until it's too late. Reacting too quickly can harm your relationships. Words spoken in heat can't be taken back. You may win the argument but lose the trust. You may defend yourself but create distance. Think of a time you shouted at someone without thinking. Maybe you felt strong at first, but later you felt regret. You remembered how their face changed. You thought about what you could have said differently. This is the cost of overreacting. It doesn't just affect others, it affects your peace of mind. When we react emotionally, we also stop thinking clearly. Our brain is focused on the feeling, not the facts. That leads to bad decisions. You might send a message you didn't mean. You might quit something too fast. You might break something that took years to build. And it's not just about big moments. Even small reactions can build stress over time. Every little argument adds tension. Every angry response adds weight to your day. There's a woman named Farah. She was smart, hardworking, and kind. But she had a habit of reacting fast when she felt disrespected. She would snap at coworkers, interrupt people, or walk away angry. At first, she felt powerful. She told herself, "I'm standing up for myself." But over time, people stopped coming to her with ideas. They avoided her when she looked upset. One day, her manager said, "People respect your work, but they're afraid of your reactions." Farah felt shocked. She didn't think her emotions were that loud. That's when she realized something important. Reacting may feel strong, but it's not the same as being strong. Strength is choosing when to speak. It's knowing when silence speaks louder. Overreacting takes away your control. You give your power to emotion. And once emotion is in charge, anything can happen, even things you don't want. So the cost of overreacting is more than just hurt feelings. It's lost respect, lost peace, lost clarity. But you can change that. You can learn to pause, to wait, to choose. Because real power is not in reacting. It's in responding with care, with calm, and with thought. Between what happens to you and what you do, there is a moment. In that moment, you have a choice. This idea comes from Viktor Frankl, a man who lived through terrible suffering. He said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is your freedom. In that space is your power. The stimulus is the thing that happens, a rude word, a mistake, a surprise. The response is what you do, speak, act, walk away. Most people skip the space in between. They go from feeling to action in 1 second. But if you can find the space, even for a few breaths, everything changes. You stop being controlled by the situation. You begin to choose your next move, and that choice makes you stronger. Let's imagine a young man named Leo. One day, his teacher made a joke about him in class. The students laughed. Leo felt his face turn red. He wanted to say something sharp. His heart was beating fast. His hands were shaking, but something inside him said, "Wait." He took a slow breath. He stayed quiet for 3 seconds. Then, instead of shouting, he said calmly, "That didn't feel good." The room got quiet for a different reason. The teacher apologized. The class moved on. Later, Leo said, "I'm glad I didn't say the first thing that came to my mind." That space, just a few seconds, changed the result. This is what it means to respond instead of react. It doesn't mean you ignore the feeling. It means you give the feeling space to settle, and you give yourself time to think. You are not your emotions. You are the one who notices your emotions. You can say, "I feel angry," but you don't have to shout. You can say, "I feel hurt," but you don't have to blame. That small pause gives you power. It gives you control over your next word, your next step, your future. It may feel small in the moment, but over time, those small pauses create big peace. Because every time you pause, you remind yourself, "I choose how I respond." That's where real strength lives, not in silence, not in words, but in the space between them. Staying calm in the moment isn't just luck, it's a skill you can practice every day. Like any habit, non-reaction becomes easier the more you do it. But first, you need to know how to begin. The first step is simple: pause. When something upsets you, don't speak right away. Instead, take a breath. Even just one breath can create space in your mind. When you pause, your brain has a chance to think. The emotion starts to settle. After the pause, name what you're feeling. This is a quiet way to get control. You might say, "I feel embarrassed," or "I feel judged," or even "I feel nervous." Putting words to feelings makes them less powerful. It turns big emotion into small language. This helps your brain calm down. And now you can think more clearly. The second step is reframing. Reframing means looking at the situation from a different view. Instead of saying, "They are attacking me," try thinking, "Maybe they're having a bad day." Instead of saying, "This is unfair," try thinking, "What can I learn from this moment?" Reframing doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means choosing a helpful story over a harmful one. There's a woman named Anna. Her coworker often spoke to her with a cold tone. At first, Anna reacted inside. She thought, "She hates me." But one day, Anna paused and reframed the thought. She said, "Maybe she's under pressure. Maybe it's not about me." That small shift helped Anna feel less angry. She began to treat her coworker with calm respect. Over time, their relationship softened, and it all began with one new thought. Another useful tool is the count method. When you feel your emotions rise, count to 5 before speaking. This is a simple trick, but it works. While counting, your brain shifts out of emotion and into focus. You give yourself just enough time to choose a better response. A quieter voice, a softer look. You can also try writing. At the end of the day, write about one moment when you reacted or chose not to. Ask yourself, what did I feel? What did I do? What could I try next time? This kind of reflection builds awareness, and awareness builds change. Don't worry if it feels hard at first. Staying calm is not about being perfect. It's about showing up with attention and doing your best to choose the next right step. Even small efforts matter. One quiet pause can change a whole conversation, so start where you are. Breathe, count, reflect, and each time you do, you become a little stronger, a little more steady, a little more free. Reacting is fast and automatic. Responding is slow and thoughtful. These two actions may look similar, but they come from very different places. One is controlled by emotion. The other is guided by intention. A reaction is what your body does when it feels pressure. It's instant. It doesn't wait. A response is what your mind does when it's calm. It listens. It chooses. Let's say someone criticizes you in front of others. If you react, you might defend yourself loudly. You might say something sharp or rude. You might raise your voice or walk away angry. But if you respond, you pause. You listen to what was said and how it was said. You ask yourself, is this true? Is this helpful? Is this the time to speak? You may still choose to answer. But now your words are clear and calm. They carry your values, not just your feelings. This is the key difference. A reaction is emotional. A response is intentional. There's a story about a man named Jacob. He worked in customer service and faced angry people every day. At first, he reacted with frustration. He felt tired and upset after every shift. But then he decided to try something new. He said, "I can't control their words, but I can control mine." He began to breathe before replying. He reminded himself, "This is not about me." Over time, he responded with care instead of anger. And surprisingly, many people became less rude. They felt heard, and that softened their tone. Jacob's work became easier even though the problem stayed the same. That's the strength of a response. It can change the energy of a moment. It can calm a storm instead of feeding it. It can protect your peace without hurting others. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to prove your point in every moment. Sometimes a kind question is more powerful than a sharp answer. Sometimes silence is the most respectful choice. Responding takes self-control. It takes awareness. But it also gives you something in return. It gives you clarity. It gives you respect. It gives you peace. So the next time someone tests your patience, remember this. You have two paths: react or respond. One path is fast, fiery, and full of regret. The other is steady, clear, and filled with purpose. And the choice is always yours. Many people think self-control means being cold or quiet. But true self-control is full of strength and awareness. It's not about hiding your feelings. It's about choosing when and how to express them. Reacting feels powerful for a moment, but responding with calm gives you strength that lasts. The person who stays calm when others lose control is not weak. They are focused. They are grounded. Imagine a woman named Rena. She works in a busy hospital with high pressure every day. Sometimes patients shout. Sometimes coworkers are rude. Sometimes everything feels too heavy. But Rena has learned to pause. She listens, she breathes, and then she speaks. People around her often ask, "How do you stay so calm?" She says, "I don't feel calm. I just choose not to let stress speak for me." That's real strength, feeling the pressure, but not passing it to others. Self-control is not something you are born with. It is something you build over time. Every time you choose not to react, your control becomes stronger. Your brain begins to trust that you are in charge. And the people around you see it too. They feel safer with you. They respect your steadiness. Even in arguments, your calmness becomes your power. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You speak clearly. You listen carefully. You protect your peace without attacking theirs. This doesn't mean you never get upset. It means you are not a prisoner of your emotions. You feel the anger, but you hold it with care. You feel the sadness, but you don't drown in it. You learn that you can carry big feelings without losing yourself. And this gives you deep confidence. Self-control also gives you space to grow. When you don't react quickly, you have time to reflect. You can ask better questions. You can understand more. You can see the full picture. The calm mind sees more. It thinks better. It moves smarter. So when the world gets loud, become quiet. When people push, stay grounded. Because the strongest people are not the ones who shout the most. They are the ones who respond with clarity and kindness. And in the long run, that strength builds a better life, not just for you, but for everyone around you. You don't have to react to everything. Sometimes the wisest move is to stay still. Now you've learned how space, silence, and self-control can protect your peace. These lessons can help you speak more clearly in life and in language. Remember, your power is in your pause. And every time you choose not to react, you choose a better version of yourself. Thank you for listening. Now it's your turn. Try using just one of these ideas this week.